What would man's first encounter with a dinosaur look like if it happened today? Probably something like this. Meet the cassowary. It's probably not very happy to see you, though. And yes, it's a real dinosaur. If you have any doubts about that, look here. See this? Its legs look suspiciously like the limbs of a prehistoric lizard. Here are the legs of a real dinosaur for comparison. But is that even possible? A dinosaur living among us? They were all destroyed by an asteroid, right? Well, not exactly. About 66 million years ago, when a celestial body hit our planet, many species suffered. The vast majority of dinosaurs went extinct, not to mention plants and other life forms. But some ancient birds were unexpectedly lucky. They weren't carnivorous, and there was very little food left on Earth after the meteor strike that caused forests to burn and ash to be thrown into the atmosphere. The feathered dinosaurs and feathered birds couldn't survive the difficult time, but those with regular beaks did make it. This included the ancestors of the cassowary, who fed on seeds and nuts by digging them out of the ground. If you look at the remains of ancient birds, you can see that they weren't so different from modern birds. Of course, their plumage isn't preserved, but its imprints remain. You can also understand the structure of the wings. Find the beak. Imagine what the paws looked like. Everything's almost like it is today, but we can't say with absolute certainty how exactly these prehistoric birds behaved. But the cassowaries? Cassowaries are great at kicking. And this is not their only peculiarity. It's not a coincidence that cassowaries are considered the most dangerous birds in the world. Firstly, they're the largest feathered birds in Australia and the second largest birds on the planet after the ostrich. Secondly, cassowaries can reach speeds up to 50 kilometers per hour while running through dense forest. You'll never escape such a chaser. In addition, they can jump up to 1.5 meters in height and are excellent swimmers. The cassowary's legs are very strong, three-toed with sharp claws. The middle one, shaped like a dagger, reaches 12 centimeters. It allows the cassowary to kill in one fell swoop. And it won't hesitate, only because humans aren't on its menu. This bird can kill simply because it wants to. By the way, cassowaries are aggressive not only to people, but also to each other. In short, they don't like anyone and are always ready to attack. But actually, if you look at a cassowary, somehow you don't even believe that it poses a threat. Monster birds must look something different. Something with a huge beak, capable of crushing your skull with a nasty look of a killer. But it seems that nature messed up. And the one who got all these details was the shoebill. Just look at it. The shoebill is so formidable that you want to bow, like you would with a hippogriff, just in case.
Listen low. Well done, Harry. Well done.
And we honestly don't know what'll happen if we don't bow. Maybe the shoebill won't pay attention. Or maybe... Well, actually, shoebills are thought to be harmless, to humans at least, but they can easily swallow smaller creatures, and it won't matter if it's a fish or some baby crocodile in front of them. I wouldn't be surprised if they had some kind of centuries-long feud with crocodiles. After all, birds are the closest relatives of crocodiles. You know, like those relatives who you just hate to see at family holidays. Of course, people don't usually want to eat each other. In the time of the dinosaurs, crocodiles didn't look quite the same as they do today. The mass extinction made a difference. But if you compare them to birds, you can say that crocodiles are almost unchanged. Almost. Look at this baby. The dwarf crocodile has been severely squeezed by years of evolution. Today, it's considered one of the smallest members of the crocodile family and can only grow to 1.5 meters in length. That's nothing for such a predator. Imagine what'll happen to it in a few million years. Many species shrink over the years. The frilled-necked lizard may have once looked impressive, but it's lost a lot of size since then. Actually, these reptiles grow to about 1 meter in length, but their distinctive feature is a large, collar-shaped skin fold. They need it to protect themselves from predators such as dingo dogs, snakes, or large birds. In case of danger, the reptile opens its leathery jabbit, stands on its hind legs, opens its mouth, and hisses menacingly.
Look at that.
In this way, it manages to look more dangerous and larger than it is. Well, or to think it's big and dangerous. Because let's be honest, it looks awfully silly. And even with a 30-centimeter collar, it doesn't make much difference. But what if the lizard was bigger? What if in the past it looked like this? Okay, it's only Jurassic Park, and it's not like everything in the film is absolutely believable. We can understand the creators. They wanted to make a beautiful, frightening image, so they had to make sacrifices. One such sacrifice was the Dilophosaurus. Despite the fact that in the movie it spat venom, blew a leather hood around its neck and vibrated, everything was very different in reality. First, there's no evidence that these dinosaurs produced venom. Second, unlike its movie incarnation, Dilophosaurus didn't behave like a lizard. It was also huge. Most likely, this lizard was up to 3 meters tall. Why would it have a leather jabbet? A frill-necked lizard would probably give a lot to look like its distant ancestor. Well, or at least a movie version of it. Alas, today it has no choice but to flee. Actually, what happened to the Dilophosaurus and frilled-necked lizard in the movies is a common story. We can't verificate everything that appears on the screen. For example, Godzilla? Ever heard of it? You know, the huge monster that rose from the bottom of the ocean to smash everything in its way? Look, nobody would think Godzilla had a real prototype, right? Well, the marine iguana, it's a totally unique creature that... Okay, hold on a second. Bless you. There you go. The marine iguana lives only in the Galapagos Islands, grows to over 1 meter in length, and eats algae. It does look like Godzilla's little cousin, but it's very peaceful. But the marine iguana is really good at diving. In fact, it can dive several meters underwater and stay there, calmly, for a long time. Unlike the movie Godzilla, the iguana knows how to live in society, at least in the society of animals. Honestly, I don't know how it would behave next to a skyscraper. Maybe some kind of extermination instinct would have kicked in. Exterminate! But it's doing great with crabs, mostly because these guys aren't on the marine iguana menu, but they gladly dine on parasites, dead cells, and all sorts of algae stuck to its thick skin. The iguana gets exfoliated, the crabs get food, and the lizard seems a little jealous. But not all crabs are so cute and helpful. The iguana is lucky that the coconut crabs didn't get in its way.
There's one right here. Yeah. Oh my God, it's huge. Look at that. Look at those huge claws.
Whew, they're real monsters. They're considered one of the largest arthropods in the world and can reach 40 centimeters in length. With their powerful claws, coconut crabs split coconuts and the fruit of the tropical pandanus tree, or carve someone's meat.
Watch this. Imagine if that was my finger.
The coconut crab is an omnivorous creature, which means it'll gladly dine on anything and anyone. There are no nesting birds on the islands where these crabs live. Guess why? Yeah, the unfortunate feathered ones can just get eaten in their sleep. And any creature can be just as unlucky, from rats to house cats. Coconut crabs have even been known to eat dogs, and they also enjoy cannibalism. Coconut crabs can easily pierce the shell of some smaller crabs. Can you imagine what the annual red crab migration on Christmas Island looks like for them? It's literally a buffet. And it's running away. Anyway, there are about 100 million crabs here, enough for everyone. They move from the forest to the ocean coast with the most understandable purpose to breed. And the migration looks like an invasion. Everything around is covered by a carpet of red moving things. Of course, not only tourists, but also ecologists keep an eye on what's going on. They even built a bridge for the crabs so they can safely cross the road without the risk of getting hit by a car. Of course, this is not the only threat, as you can't explain to the rest of the island's inhabitants that the unique event is taking place here. Alas, it's the wildlife. Things are rough here, but even a small crab can become a ruthless predator if given the chance. See this guy running after a bird? What do you think, he wants to ask the bird what time it is? Or, do you have a minute to talk about our god Poseidon? Wait a minute. Okay, it's got a whole other agenda, and this tag game is clearly not going to end well for the bird. If only it could fly, or even jump. By the way, for some species of birds, jumping is almost as important as the ability to fly. It's quite difficult for a male long-tailed widow bird to become conspicuous. These birds live in tall grass, but they still need to breed. So the males first trample a small area for themselves, and then, they jump. And they scream while they jump, of course. It's all to attract a lady, and she gets whoever jumps the highest and longest. Look at them try. But not enough for a baboon. Maybe it's like those judges who are always unhappy with everything. Maybe if some Olympic high jump champion ended up in the middle of the savannah, all the ladies would go to him, or to the occasional stingray. Mobula are some of the largest stingrays in the world. But in our case, size is not the main thing, because these fish have a strange habit of jumping out of the water to a decent height, ridiculously waving their fins. It's as if they're trying to fly every time, and every time they just flop back down. Scientists are still not sure why the mobula do this. Most likely, jumping is simply part of the ritual of courting females. And while all of Earth's inhabitants are related in some way, I doubt that such a method would work with humans.
You all right?
But you're welcome to try.
Yeah.
We'll see you around.